Okay, before we begin, I know a lot of you guys aren't going to have watched this channel before. You're literally just clicking on the video for the title. So for those of you who are just here for that content, skip to that time. And for the rest of you who are following this series, following this channel, enjoy the video. It's a mad one. Okay, my alarm has been going off for literally like an hour. I have hit snooze so many times, so I've decided rather than hit snooze again, I'm going to pick up this camera, I'm going to sort this out. Let's get it. I'm actually mad. Look how nice of a day it is. Oh my god. Instead of getting up and making the most of the day, I've been lying in that bed like an absolute knob. Anyway, let's get some breakfast.
Sometimes we hide behind this illusion that we're done. Oh, please see that you're wrong in this. I don't fall in love cause I'm here tonight. I don't wanna say it but it just feels right. I think the girls just pass the time. I want to stay at the back of your mind.
Yeah, sorry if I look absolutely collapsed. I haven't exactly freshened up or anything, but I just want to film. So, this last week, how's it gone? Basically, if you hadn't seen the last episode of Everyday Improvement, I'd recommend watching that, that's up there. But essentially, last week, I set out to track all of my calories, to follow a strict workout plan, to try and get at least 8 hours sleep per night, and those were the 3 fundamentals I was going to be working on over this next week, over this next 2 weeks. So it's now Friday, it's been a week and 3 quarters. I have massively succeeded in terms of the fitness stuff. Like, I've stocked my calorie goals, I've averaged 4,000 calories per day. I'm now up 1.5 kilograms and I have completely stuck to the plan to a T. It's been beautiful. However, the only thing that I have lacked slightly is the sleep. Not so much the actual quantity of the sleep, but more like when I'm actually sleeping. So last week was fine because I was at home the whole time, but whenever I go places, it just screws up a little bit. So like this week, I started the week going to Reading. I stayed over in Reading. Didn't get a huge amount of sleep then, and then went to London on Thursday, but it meant I didn't get back until like 12:30. Didn't get sleep until like 1 o'clock, waking up about 7, 8. Not ideal. And then obviously today, you saw this morning, I didn't get up until 11 and I went to sleep at like 1 a.m. So the sleep aspect is starting to slip a bit, and that's something that I'm really going to be working on over this next week. Over this next week, I also want to get into more mobility, sticking to the fitness, getting the sleep, and then adding in a bit of mobility exercises in the morning. But yeah, that's not today's video. This video is all about positivity, and particularly delusional optimism, and how that basically saved my life 2 weeks ago. Now, before I explain exactly how I do stay delusionally optimistic, how I do stay so positive and keep a good mood mentality throughout most things, we need to set the scene, and we need to go back 2 weeks to when all of this happened. Starting on the 9th of July when our flat flooded. Okay, so it's currently 9 o'clock, we're about to go to bed. Emergency, the hot water's exploded and it's coming up through the floorboards. I'm just gonna warn you, this is a fairly long story with so many ridiculously unpredictable things that happen in such bad ways. It's a roller coaster, it's a great story, and I do hope you enjoy it. And yeah, hopefully the positivity that I managed to keep throughout inspires you to be a bit more positive and see the silver lining in things. But anyway, 9th of July, it's just been a massive work day. I'm ready to go to bed. I go into the bathroom, do my face, do my teeth, turn the hot water tap off, and I hear this explosion. Succeeding the explosion, I just hear a bunch of running water. I can't see anything, nothing's changed. I go into the kitchen, there's no water coming out anywhere. So I'm just like, okay, I go knock on Leo's door because Leo's actually just gone to bed. I'm like, Leo, right now, there isn't a severe issue, but it has potential for catastrophic results. And yeah, he comes out, we inspect it, everything looks fine. We go into the kitchen and water starts coming up through the floorboards. Oh my god. We probably need to address this. We get on the line to maintenance, running through everything as soon as possible. We turned the water off, looking at the damages. They said that we would need to be out of the flat for at least a night, so they put us up in a hotel that night. 1 a.m, we're driving to the hotel, we check in. It doesn't look like and yeah, set up camp for the next few days. To think I came down to London for some sense of routine, some sense of stability, and this is what I'm getting. It's mad. Regardless, the next day they come back and say the flat, which I'm meant to be staying at for a month, is going to take a month to fix. So they can't do anything about it. They're going to move us into the flat above, which only has 2 bedrooms, meaning I'd have to sleep on the sofa. And yeah, we have to stay in that hotel for another 2 nights while they get it sorted. In that time, Leo and Mark actually decide to terminate tenancy, and we have to move out by the end of the week. Slight issue, I don't have anywhere to stay in London, and all my stuff's in London. Whew. Anyway, I'm just like, okay, this is fun. It's a life experience. We're gonna keep smiling. We're gonna keep staying positive. Moving on. 2 days later, I get up, I go to work. I'm assigned this massive project. I check into the WeWork, start cracking it out, and my laptop dies. I plug the charger in, realize that the charger's broken. Like, everything I do is on my laptop. Given the fact that I work full-time from my laptop, I'm also a creator from my laptop, and everything I'm doing revolves around my laptop. That's pretty peak. My lifeline is my laptop, and suddenly that was taken away with the deadline of a new video and this big project. I'm f***ed. Straight away, I'm like an Olympic sprinting with my fingers, trying to find the nearest place I can get a laptop charger. There's nothing available until early August. This is the start of July. I'm like, bollocks, what am I gonna do? Also, my phone's about to die and I have no idea how to get around London, and this is my reaction. I ended up finding a really cheap knockoff at an Argos about 20 minutes away, so I call up my boss. I'm like, hey, my laptop's died, I can't work, I need to go pick up this charger, is that okay? Let's go get this charger. And at this point, I genuinely have no idea if the charger's actually going to work. It was £50, 20-minute tube. This better work. And I literally asked the Argos staff, can I use the plugs in the floor to test whether this laptop charger works? And if so, I can go off. If not, I'll just return it. So here I am, sat in the middle of a floor in Argos, testing my laptop charger with everyone looking at me. And I obviously vlog it. Whew! Here we start to get into the juicy stuff. So while all of this is happening, this is on Wednesday, I'm moving out on Thursday, my manager calls me up. He's like, hey mate, just checking, are you okay to take this HelloFresh delivery today? You've still got to make the sponsored video for Friday. And yeah, you've got to cook up all of the food, you got to take it in, store it in a fridge, store it in a freezer, whatever. I'm like, okay, I'm moving out tomorrow. I'm not at the flat because I'm out in London. I can't accept the delivery. I have nowhere to store the food because all of the electricity and the water is off in the house because of the flooding. Huh. What am I gonna do? So I vibe.
I guess nothing is going to plan right now. Everything seems quite, definitely not the best. Oh, I'm actually quite sad for you actually. Okay.
So I'm thinking, what can I do in this situation? I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna bolt home. I'm gonna try and work from home because I still have like my mobile data. I can still hotspot my laptop even though there's no electricity there. I go home, I accept the delivery.
Sorry, what is this?
HelloFresh is my lifeline. Start working from the flat, and I'm like, okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna finish work, I'm gonna cook the food in the flat, film everything, so I've got the content ready for the sponsored video on Friday. And then it hit me. We don't have electricity, we don't have an oven, I can't cook. So at this point, it's late evening, I'm moving out the next day. I've got all of this food that's going off, I've got all of my stuff in the flat that I need to move, and I've still got to work. So I call up one of the guys that I know in London who's been a massive influence in my life, absolute legend, Oliver Rutherford, you're a beaut. And I'm like, this is a little bit of an issue, but is there any chance I can crash? Like, I'll literally sleep on the floor just for a few nights, I'll cook you dinner, I'll cook you all of the food that I've been given from HelloFresh. There's like 4 meals. He, being the absolute legend that he is, agrees, and just like that, it's set. I decide to pack up everything that night. Sunny days, no clouds in the sky, about to get away. And then Leo and I, with all of my bags, these 2 hefty HelloFresh boxes, tube all the way across London. It's like 45 minutes, drop it off at this flat, and then here, and now yes, I know it's hard to believe, but it gets even more interesting. I'm going out with my friends in Kew, which is an hour outside of London, that night. So I dropped everything off, whacked all the HelloFresh food into the fridge, dropped all my clothes off, but because we've had no water, because we've had no electricity, I haven't had a chance to wash any of my clothes, so I have no clean socks, no clean pants, and I meant to be preeing at my friend's house half an hour ago. So Leo and I were just like, okay, closest place to buy clothes. We end up swinging by H&M, we spend £40 on socks and pants, which is ridiculous. It was so overpriced. I take all of these clothes in a bag with a towel, I go to my mate's house, I shower at the Prees, neck a few drinks, and we're off. The night begins. All the stress and doubt, yeah, not today. Feels like it's been a freaking decade. And now here is when things really take a turn. Like, here I am going on this night out, thinking everything is sorted. Like, I've got a place to stay the next few nights. I can make that HelloFresh sponsored video. I'm flying out to Portugal on the Monday, and I've got everything together ready to do that. We go on this night out. We're having a great time. There's 4 of us. Everything's sick. Then around 2 AM, I see something in the club that I didn't really want to see. Yeah. Female drama. So I leave. I leave to go and find a different club, different bar, and just to get a bit of space. Because you know when something happens and you just want to distance yourself from the situation? Yeah, that was me. I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna be straight, I was a little bit intoxicated. And as I'm walking to that other club, I'm not really feeling social interaction, so I go down some small side roads. And it's here when I'm approached by a group of 4 or 5 people. They start getting aggressive, they start asking for my phone, for my wallet, for everything. I'm just like, I don't think it's worth risking my life for my phone or for my wallet. Like, they did look like would be carrying weapons, carrying something that, quite frankly, I didn't want to face. I gave them my phone, put it on the floor, I ran, and here I am in the middle of London, no idea where my friends are, no means to contact them. I'm staying at one of their houses tonight. I'm genuinely there thinking I'm screwed. If I can't find my friends, I have no means to contact anyone, I have nowhere to stay, I don't know London. I'd literally be sleeping on the street until I found a phone that I could use to contact someone. Frantically running around London, I ended up running into 2 of my mates. They were out out looking for me. They were like, whoa. I explained the story. Everything's a bit chaotic. I cop onto Lucy, my friend's phone. I'm trying to think of a number that I remember. I call my dad, or what I think is my dad's number. Turns out it is the right number, but because it was an unknown ID, my dad was like, oh, it's not Jake. Put his phone on airplane mode. I couldn't get through to him. The only other person's number I had was my ex's number, so I called her. And yeah, she set me on my dad's number, set me on my mum's number, and that was really helpful. So now at this point, I'm thriving, I'm vibing, I'm like, okay, I've got my health. All I've lost is my phone. That's the end of it. We get in the taxi. I turn to the taxi driver. I'm like, bro, any chance I can hop on the aux? I hop on Lucy's phone. We're blasting music, screaming history all the way back to hers. There's 4 of us in the car. We are all just going at it. It's 3 a.m. going down the motorway. Honestly, despite everything that just happened, this was a peak experience, a significant core memory for me. You gotta help me. Yeah, I was absolutely loving it. Like, at the end of the day, I was sat there, material possessions aren't anything. Life is about experiences. This is one hell of an experience, and I was feeling so euphoric. I was with people that I really enjoy spending time with. I was listening to banging music. We were driving down the motorway at 3 a.m. Ignoring everything that happened, this was a sick time, and I was loving it. We get home, obviously it's too late for my dad to be up, so I'm like, okay, I'll call everyone in the morning, I'll sort it out. Morning comes around, I call my dad up, get onto the insurance, he sorts that out. We managed to get a full refund on the phone through the insurance. It was like a £50 excess. I call up my boss, I'm like, hey, this is the situation. I don't think I'm gonna be able to work today, is that okay? He was like, yeah, take the rest of the week off. You need to just like reconcile. Yeah, he was just genuinely really supportive and was just like, yeah, take all the time you need, like no pressure, you're going through a lot. Just go and sort it out. And yeah, like I said, I think this is the full extent of my troubles. I'm like, surely it can't go worse from here. I then, obviously without a phone, take a train back to my flat in London. I've actually written the directions down on like a piece of paper. I told my flatmates what had happened, so I go back to the flooded flat. So yeah, it's now the next day. It went even further down bad. Like I went out with my mates, we had a great time, and then about 2 a.m. I was walking to second club on my own, stupidly. I ended up getting mugged. Yeah, no phone. Yeah, they took my phone. Obviously I've got my wallet and stuff still, which is calm, but I'm waiting outside the flat hoping Leo's gonna rock up soon because I have no contact with anyone, no internet, no Wi-Fi, no nothing. So yeah, filed a police report, got in contact with my dad about the insurance. Luckily there was some insurance on it, so we're paying the excess, but I leave for Portugal in a few days. I'm going to Bath tomorrow. I've also got to be working and I have no contact with any of those routes. Like I didn't even know how to get home from where we were in London. So one of my mates had to look it up on his maps, and then I just came. So I'm really hoping that Leo pulls up soon, because then I can start to get my phone sorted, like get all of that, and have a bit more contact with people. Hopefully he'll be willing to come into London with me to figure it out. But yeah, despite all of this, you know what we're still doing? We're still thriving. No, honestly, like delusional optimism is the best way to live. Like, even my mates are saying, I don't know how you're so positive about this. At the end of the day, life's experience, right? Everything is an experience, no matter how good or bad it is. And you just gotta look at the silver linings. Like, silver lining in this situation, I'm starting to lose my phone addiction because I keep going to my pocket and it's not there. I'll probably end up having an excuse to upgrade to a new phone, which I've been meaning to do for ages, but just haven't been able to justify it. And yeah, even after the mugging happened, like, I was able to just laugh about it. And then on the way home, we just had all of the vibes in the car. And yeah, it was amazing. So like, despite what's happened, that was still probably one of the sickest days I've had. Like, it's just a memory, and I'm gonna remember this for the rest of my life. So delusional optimism is where it's at, basically. Anyway, Leo, fingers crossed you pull through soon, because I'm getting bored and I want to go get a new phone. I literally have nothing to do because I have no internet connection. I need the internet connection to do any work, everything, so I just lie down and fall asleep. My flatmates eventually pull back a few hours later. I go on their phone, I try to sign in to my Starling account so that I can buy the new phone, which is in Argos, an hour and a half outside of the city, because that is the only one that was available in like the whole area. Turns out you need an SMS code on your phone to be able to activate the Starling account on the new phone. I don't have my phone. I can't get into my account. So I call up my dad, I'm like, hey dad, is there any chance if I go out and buy a new SIM, EE can transfer my number into that SIM and activate that remotely so I can use it on Leo's phone, receive the SMS code and reactivate my Starling account so I can buy the new phone? Dad's like, yeah, calm. So I write the directions down to a local Curry's, I go out, I buy a new SIM card, it's like a £5, come back, whack it in Leo's SIM. The whole transfer process takes like an hour and a half, so we wait an hour and a half. It finally activates, I go on to Starling, bop the code in, they give me access, but they're like, oh hold on, we need to verify it's actually you. Take a photo of your driving license, take a photo of your face, send it off for verification. Calm, that's fine. But it takes another hour and a half. So I'm just sat there in suspense, like, okay, another hour and a half passes. I finally get access to my account, get access to my cards. I'm thinking, calm, I'm gonna just hop in, I'm gonna just buy a new phone, all of my troubles will be sorted. That is when everything goes to shit. When I get access to my Starling account, I open it up and it says £12,000 has been spent in the last 24 hours. What the f? This is great content. I need to change my YouTube channel name.
You changed all your passwords, aren't you?
I'm trying, but like my ice is on my phone as well. I don't know if they'd be able to get into that or not. But the thing is, my phone's got everything on, like my national security number, like everything. Okay. I need to see if I can remote wipe it somehow.
How do you currently feel?
You know what? Still maintaining positive outlook. Sucks. But we're gonna get through, okay? No, so there's two options here. Either everything gets sorted and I'm calm within the next 24 hours or so, or I lose everything.
The Great Reset.
But then it's a good point to restart. All of my contacts, everything. My being is that phone, they have me. In the palm of their hand, like this. Despite this though, I still find time to laugh. I still find time just to enjoy the moment. But yeah, like I said, it's another experience. Like at the end of the day, money's money. At least I got my health. Let's just figure this out. Yeah, once everything's locked down, I'll call up my dad. I'm like, Dad, here's the situation. I'm a bit... Is there any chance you'd be able to buy this phone for me and then I give you the money back when I've got it? Being the best dad on the planet, he's like, yeah, sure. Leo actually lets me borrow the phone so I have contact with people. I can use the phone for directions to the Argos. I take a tube, I take a train, I take a bus, an hour and a half outside of London to this Argos. Okay, an hour and a half later, I am 10 minutes away from the Argos, about to pick it up, but the Argos shuts in 10 minutes, so I gotta go get a move on. Let's go get it. Pick up the new phone. Whack the SIM in it, start downloading everything else that I need again. And yeah, things are finally looking up. When I'm back, I give Leo everything back. I go and stay at my mate Ollie's place, the place that I dropped all of the food off, all of my clothes, everything. I sit down, I take a moment, I cook up a meal with HelloFresh. I take an evening just to chill, to unwind, because at this point, despite staying positive, I'm so worn out inside, like I'm so dead. I am absolutely finished and tired and just in need of a little rest. Everyone says that cooking is therapeutic, so I've lit some candles, I'm gonna play some relaxing music, and I'm gonna give it a go. I'm gonna see if I can learn to cook. So I'm gonna be using HelloFresh. They've pulled through absolutely clutch, and despite having to transport it all over London, they've blessed us. Like, all of your ingredients ready to go. Like, I don't have to worry about sorting anything. I can just crack on with the recipe. Like, it does it all for me. Sick. I'm gonna try and follow the instructions and see if we can get anything close to this gourmet gaucho chimichurri cheeseburger. So let's get it. So this guy, Tom, I'd only just met him and I cooked him a full meal and I was feeling my Ryan Trahan inspiration. So I decided to ask him this question. What is one thing you'd want to tell the world if you could? Anything at all?
Sometimes it's alright to be a little bit selfish sometimes.
Yeah, okay.
And sometimes to put yourself first for the people.
Yeah. Is there any context behind that? Story?
Yeah, but I don't. It's a little bit raw.
Fair enough, fair enough. That makes sense. Great advice. This one?
Nice.
So Ollie, what is one thing you'd want to tell the platform, tell the masses if you could?
What platform?
Yeah, that's a great question, mate.
The internet?
The interweb, yeah. My YouTube channel. Anyone who's watching this right now?
3.5 people watching.
Those 3.5 people.
You can only connect with others
Yeah.
as much as you've connected with yourself.
That's deep.
So do the work.
Okay. Is there some context there?
No.
No context.
Work it out.
No, right, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So kind of
Work
like
it
focus
out.
on yourself before you can focus on others.
You can only connect with others as far as you've connected with yourself.
Yeah, I guess that's one of those pieces of advice that you kind of see the meaning behind as you experience more,
Mhm.
right? And I'm experiencing more, so I'm
What are you
slowly getting there.
experiencing?
The need to connect with yourself before connecting with others.
Tell me what.
No context.
Great.
No, it's not funny. Cheers. I ended up staying there for a few nights, flying out to Portugal for a work retreat next Monday, hence the need for a phone and all of this. And then fast forward a month and we're here now. I still haven't got any of the money back. I'm down £12,000, but I've got my health, I've got my friends, I've got this great story to tell, and I've got my positive attitude. And at the end of the day, I think that's what life is. You go on these massive roller coasters of thought, roller coasters of experience. There's so many shortcomings and so many little setbacks, but the only way to keep your head above water and live a truly fulfilling and enjoyable life is just to stay positive. Because at the end of the day, all that matters is this vessel that you enjoy this experience with. As long as you've got yourself, your health, your mentality, you can enjoy whatever life throws your way. Treat it as one big roller coaster, because at the end of the day, it is the dips, the highs, the lows that make that roller coaster exciting. And on that note, I do hope you've enjoyed this episode. I would love a subscribe if you want more stories like this, more general improvement, general motivation, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye bye. Okay, I did just end there to be more dramatic. What I was saying about the roller coaster holds so much weight. If you think about your life as one massive roller coaster, the roller coaster is going to go through all of these highs and lows regardless of what you actually do. The only thing you can change is how well prepared the carriage is, the maintenance and overall state of that carriage. Obviously, if that carriage is a wreck at one of the highs or one of the lows, it's just going to go flying off the rails, and that's it, done. Now, in terms of life, you basically got to be the maintenance man. You've got to keep checking in with that carriage, i.e. yourself, on this journey, on this roller coaster, and doing everything you can to help prepare yourself to tackle those highs and lows. Now for me, and ultimately how I managed to stay so positive despite this massive roller coaster that we've just been through, are things like meditation, gratitude journaling. Those two have been really significant for me. But also just looking at other people, looking at their negativities, looking at what you don't like about it, and just trying not to be that person. For me, I hate when people have a negative attitude. I just can't deal with it, especially when they're overly pessimistic, and I just really don't want that trait in myself, so I've actively tried to change. Those are my 3 things. Those are exactly how positivity saved my life, and the things I'm doing to stay more positive and to be able to tackle those highs and lows. Genuinely do hope you found value in this video. I would love a subscribe, love a like on it. And yeah, I'm actually gonna go now. See you in the next one.